Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
अच्छा, आज की टॉपिक तो आपको
So,
मालूम
I
है
think all of you know the topic for today.
या पहले मैं टॉपिक बोलूं या पहले सुबह वाले क्वेश्चन को
Shall I take up the question that was given in the morning, or shall I start the topic?
अगर सुबह के क्वेश्चन को लेंगी तो शायद विस्तार में हो जाए
If I take up the
इसलिए
question of the
टॉपिक को
morning, it
लेंगे
might go into too much
क्वेश्चन को
detail.
लेंगे
So, what shall we do?
सुबह का क्वेश्चन याद है
Do you remember this morning's question?
जिन्हों को याद है
Those who remember the question?
अच्छा
Oh, really?
वैसे तो यज्ञ के रक्षक
Actually,
आज का
those who are
टॉपिक है
the topic is the protectors of the Yagya.
रक्षक तो बाप ही है
But it's the father who's a
और
protector,
बाप ने हम बच्चों को
and the father has told us
यज्ञ
children,
में बिठाया
and he
है
has made us sit in this
यज्ञ किसको
Yagya.
कहा जाता है
What is a Yagya?
विशेष रूप से यज्ञ की परिभाषा
What is actually the definition of
जहाँ
Yagya?
हवन होता
Where
है
there is a
तपस्या
sacrificial
होती
fire
है
taking place, there's
और
tapasya
ब्राह्मण
taking
बैठ
place, and
करके
the Brahmins are sitting
वो
around that sacrificial fire, and
उनकी भाषा में कथा कहेंगे
they are
परंतु हमारी
reading
भाषा
out
में
some story
योग
or
युक्त
reading
होकर
something.
के
But in our language, we will say to
बाप
become
की
yog
याद में
yukt
रहकर
and sitting
और
in Baba's
सर्व के
remembrance,
प्रति
and towards
वही
all
शुभ
having the
भावनाएं
same
जो
pure
कुछ
feelings,
बाबा
good
ने हम
wishes
बच्चों
which
को
Baba
खजाने
has
दिए हैं
given us, all the treasures
बाबा
that He's
जो
given
हम
us,
बच्चों से जो
what
शिक्षाएं
Baba,
ली है
the teachings that He's
जो
given
योग की
us,
विधि बताई
and the
है
methods of
जो स्थिति
yoga that He
बाबा
has
हम
told
बच्चों
us,
से चाहते हैं
the
तो
states that
यज्ञ
Baba
माना
wishes to see
उसी
in us.
स्थिति
So
से
Yagya
रहना
means to
और
remain in that
उन्हीं
stage,
भावनाओं से
and with those
सदा
bhavnas
हम
and feelings,
एक दो में चलते
we
रहे
move along with each other.
अर्थात
Which
एक
means,
शब्द में कहा जाए
in one word, if you sum it
श्रीमत
up,
के अनुसार
according to
सदा
Srimad,
न सिर्फ
always
हमारी चलन परंतु
not only
साथ
just our
साथ
behavior, but along with that,
हमारी विचारधारा
our way of
और
thinking.
विचारधारा के पहले भी उससे भी पहले हमारी स्मृति सदा वो बनी
So
रहे
our awareness
सबसे
should
पहली
always
रक्षा
remain the same. First, the protectors
अर्थात
of the Yagya.
हमारी मनसा के वाइब्रेशन
That means the vibrations of our mind,
ऐसे पीसफुल
they should be so
योग
peaceful
युक्त
and so
या
full of
ऐसे
yoga, yog
स्नेह
yukt,
संपन्न हो
or filled with so much love
जो जो भी आवे
that whoever comes,
उनको ऐसा महसूस हो
they may also
कि
feel
ये
that
अलौकिक
this is
यज्ञ लगता
a Lokik Yagya. This is not a
वहाँ तो हवन
Yagya of
करते
the
रहते हैं
worldly type of
और
Yagya.
वो
There
पढ़ते
they
रहते हैं
perform
आवासिनों
sacrificial
करते
fires,
हैं हर एक इतनी
and they
सारी
all
ब्राह्मणों की
speak
सभा
up.
लगी
They
है
all speak some kind of
वो
mantras,
हमारी
chant
भी
them.
ब्राह्मणों की सभा तो
And
सदा
here
है ही
too,
है
we always
और
have a
उसमें
gathering of
देखो
the
कि
Brahmins,
जो बाबा से मिला है
and
वो
whatever we
हम
have received from
वर्णन तो
Baba,
करते ही
we do
रहते
talk about that, we do express that.
हैं हमें याद है
I remember
अभी तो हम इन बातों को शब्दों में वर्णन
we
करते
talk
हैं
about these things, explain these things in words,
परंतु शुरू में जब हम
but
आए
in the early days,
तो हमारी तो आप लोगों ने कुछ सुना भी
you must
होगा
have heard about that, I think.
लेकिन सबसे मुख्य बात
The main
यह रही
point used to be
क्योंकि हम जब आए
when we
तो
came,
आने से ही और बाबा को
as soon
देखने
as
से
we
ऐसे
came
भी
and we
नहीं
saw
था
Baba,
कि हरू भरू हम आए तो पहले दिन ही
well, it's
कोई
not that the
बाबा
first day itself we
ऐसा
saw
भी
Baba.
नहीं
No, it wasn't like that.
मैं जब आई तो बाबा
When
तो
I came,
कश्मीर गए
Baba was in Kashmir at that time.
परंतु उस समय का एक टोटल
But as a
उनकी
whole,
स्थापना का समय
because
था
it was a time of
और बाप
establishment,
अनहोनी बात
and
रहे
the father,
और इतना गुप्त रीति
he
से
came in such an
बाप ने
incognito
आके
way,
यज्ञ
have
स्थापन
something
किया और
impossible
शुरुआत
happening,
में
and he
तो
established his
समझो
yagya,
क्या
and whatever
इंडिविजुअल
we got the
कोर्स
teachings
कराते
we
थे।
got in the beginning, the individual courses that we used to get.
बताया है कि एक ही लेसन आत्मा का
There
था
was only
शुरू
one
में।
lesson in the
तो
beginning of
जब
the soul.
आत्मा का लेसन सुनते
So
थे
when we
ना,
used to listen to the
तो
lesson of the
सुनते
soul,
ही
so
क्योंकि
as soon as we
आने से
used to
एक
hear
भावनाओं से
about it,
आते
because we
थे।
used to come with some
वैसे
bhavna.
भी समझो भक्ति में
For
भी,
example, in
या
devotion too,
जब बड़े घरों में बहुत करके
or when
भक्ति भावना और
in
उसमें
some
किसी
houses
को
there
लाइन
is a
है,
bhavna of
तो जैसे
bhakti
उन्हीं
devotion.
भावनाओं से
So
आते थे,
we
तो
also
जो
used to come
सुनते
with
थे
those kind of bhavna. So
समझाने
whatever we
वाला
used to
भी,
hear,
जो सुनाते थे आत्मा
those
का
who used to
लेसन
even
सुनाते
explain to
सुनाते
us, while
लास्ट में
explaining about the
ऐसे
soul,
बिठा देते
they
थे
would make us sit
जो
in such a way
अधिकतर
that most of the
जो
time,
भी आते थे, जो भी
whoever used
सुनने
to come
वाले,
in,
कुछ समय के
for
लिए
some
तो जैसे
time
कि
they would become
देह भान से परे
completely
अनुभव
free
करते,
from, they would experience to be completely free
जिस
from the
कारण
consciousness
वो
of
जो
the body.
पहली छाप लग
So,
जाती
so
थी,
this is why that
वो
first
जैसे मन
imprint
के
that took
अंदर
place,
वही स्मृति
that
और
awareness
वो एक
stayed in the
लगन
mind.
बन
And then there
गई।
was this kind of a love
और
and a
भले
passion to
वहाँ
do
से
something.
जाते भी थे उस
And
समय, तो
even
जब
after
शुरुआत थी,
leaving the place,
जाते हुए
like in
भी
the
जैसे
beginning
वो
when we used to
लगन
come there
लग
and then
गई,
leave,
और उसी से,
and
उस लगन से
with that
और
deep
कोई
love and
बातों
passion
को
that we
देखना
developed,
और कुछ
to see
सोचना,
something else
ये
or to
कुछ
hear
नहीं
something
था।
else or to think something else, all this
जिस
wouldn't take
कारण
place.
थोड़े ही समय
And
में
this is why in a
जब
very
फिर
short
जब
time,
साथ में रहना हुआ,
when we
तो
started living
रहने से
together,
भी जैसे
then
एक दो में उन्हीं भावनाओं से कोई और बातें नहीं थी।
so then it was only
ऐसे
that
लगा
bhavna. We
जैसे
didn't have any
आने
other
से
feelings, and it
जो
was
भी
as if
कुछ पुरानापन,
whenever,
पुराना
as soon
और
as we
नया,
came there, everything
ये
that
कोई
was old,
कॉन्ट्रास्ट की बात नहीं
there
थी,
was no
पर
contrast of
एक है कि
old
वो
or new.
समय और अभी का समय
Of course,
अलग है।
that time and
अब
now, this
दुनिया
time is
का
so
भी ऐसा
different, and the
विस्तार
world
है,
also is in such a
दुनिया
big
का भी
detail
ऐसे
now.
शो है,
There's a show in
जिसमें
this
कि
world now
हर एक का अलग अलग समझो कैरेक्टर
where
है।
everybody has a different character now in this present
इसीलिए
world.
टोटल बात को
But
कहेंगे
if you
कि
see it in
मुख्य
the
बात
total way, of course, everybody
वही
came with
जो
different
हमारी
sanskars,
मनसा
but our
शुद्ध
mind
बनी रहे, और
should
शुद्ध
remain
मनसा
totally
से
pure,
जब
unadulterated.
हम सुनते हैं,
So for
तो
that kind of
सुन करके
mind, we
अंदर
just
ही अंदर
listen to
जब वो
it,
भावना जागृत
and when
होती है
that
कि भगवान
bhavna
ये सुनाने,
awakens, that God
भगवान
is
के
telling us
महावाक्य
all
सुन
these
रहे
are, we are
हैं,
listening to
तो
God's
उस बात
elevated
में क्या हो
versions,
जाता है,
then what
अंदर ही
happens is
अंदर
that
वो भावना
within
लगा,
that bhavna really
और मन
works.
के अंदर
And in the
जो
mind,
सुना है वो
whatever we've
चिंतन
heard,
करते हैं।
only those kind of
आप
thoughts
लोगों को भी अनुभव
continue.
होगा,
I'm sure all of you have
शुरू में
also
जब आते
experienced
हैं,
it, that when you come
नई
in the
नई बात
beginning
सुनो,
and you
और
listen to
जब
something
पहले
new,
सुनाती है
and if
बहनें,
and when the
इतना
sisters tell you about those things which
उमंग
are so
से
new, then you,
और उस
with
विधि से
so much,
सुनाती है,
when they teach you
खुद
with so
भी
much
योग में
zeal and
बैठती है,
enthusiasm,
और
the
फिर योग
sisters too sit
कराती है,
in
तो
yoga and make you
ऑटोमेटिकली
also have
सिखाने
yoga
वाले को
meditation,
वो
then
शांति का
automatically
अनुभव
whoever
होता
comes
है।
also experience
तो
the
वो
peace.
शुरू का अनुभव
So that experience
अगर
of
हम
the
सदा
beginning,
कायम
if we
रखते हुए
maintain
उसको
it all the
बढ़ाते
time and
रहते
we keep
हैं,
increasing
तो
it,
वो एक
then
हमारी
it
मनसा
becomes
को
like
शुद्ध रखने के
it,
लिए
it's a
वो
way to keep
सबसे
our mind
पहले
totally
पहली रक्षा
unadulterated.
रहे,
So that becomes a
सबके
first
लिए शुरू
protection
हो
for the
जाती
self.
है, और
And
टोटल
and
वायुमंडल में,
in the whole as a whole for the
और यज्ञ
environment too,
माना
it becomes a protection.
स्वाहा,
Yagya means swaha, means
जो भी अपना
completely
कुछ है,
things put inside and it's totally gone, nothing
जिन
left.
विकारों को बाबा कहते
Those
हैं, जैसे
vices that
जैसे
Baba says
सुनते
that
जाएं,
as you
मन
keep
के
listening
अंदर
to
वो
these
बात
things,
मनन करते करते
whatever you
करते
listen to, we keep
उस बात को
churning,
अंदर
thinking
पक्का
deeply,
करते
deeply,
हैं।
and make it very
अगर
firm
शुरू
within.
में हम उसको
Why,
पक्का
if
करते
we make
हैं,
it very firm
तो
in the beginning,
सहज
from the beginning,
जो अपने में
then
नेगेटिविटी है
whatever
वो सहज
negativity
छूट
is there
जाती है।
within is
अगर वो
easily, we
सब
can leave it and
नेगेटिविटी
it goes away.
हम बुद्धि के द्वारा
If that
बार बार
negativity
कंट्रास्ट में नहीं
throughout our
लाते हैं,
intellect,
तो
with our
वो
intellect, if we
जल्दी
don't bring it
परिवर्तन
into
होता है। मैं
contrast,
ऐसे
then
समझती
I think there is an easy and fast
हूँ।
transformation.
इसलिए जो हम सुनते
So
हैं,
whatever we hear,
वो बात कहेंगे
the
कि
main
हमें
point would be
पहले
that
अपना अटेंशन
first our
मनसा
attention
की शुद्धि पर
has to
रखना
be
बहुत
on the
जरूरी
purification
है।
of the mind.
मनसा शुद्ध
When
होने
the
से
mind is
हमारा
pure and
आपस में दृष्टि
unadulterated,
ऐसी बनी
then
रहे,
our
व्यवहार
vision
में वो
should be
स्नेह बना
such,
रहे,
and in our
भले आते तो अलग
behavior
अलग
that kind of
अंदाजों से हैं,
love.
अलग अलग
Of course,
परिवारों
everybody
से
comes
हैं,
from different
परंतु
backgrounds and
जब
different
हमें ये
thinkings,
नॉलेज है, हम
but
सबकी
this
एक बात
knowledge
को
is that we are
समझना
all
है।
the children of the one
और
Father.
अभी के हिसाब में
Then,
देखेंगे
if you look at it
तो
according to the
सेक्टर्स
present
है,
time,
सेक्टर्स पे रहते हैं,
people are living in the
रहना
centers,
खाना
the,
पीना
the
मरना
living,
सारी बात
eating, moving,
यज्ञ से चलती है।
everything is
तो जब
happening because
हमें
of the
यज्ञ
yagya.
के पालना में
Now,
चलते
when we
हैं
are being
तो
nurtured by
हमें
this yagya,
सदा
then
श्रीमत पर
we need
और
to
जो
always follow
यज्ञ के
Srimad.
कायदे हैं
And whatever are the
अर्थात
systems and the
बाबा ने जो
disciplines
हमें
of the
एक
yagya,
तरफ दिनचर्या की
Baba
कायदे
has told us about the
दूसरी
daily
तरफ जो
schedule,
जीवन की
and then he's
मर्यादाएं
also told us
बताई
about the
हैं
maryadas to
अगर
follow
ये
in life.
नियम और
Now, these,
मर्यादाएं
these, these, these
हम अपने
principles
जीवन में
and
याद
maryadas and the
रखते
systems, if
अपने
we
जीवन
remember
में
that in our
उन्हीं
life,
अपने जीवन को उस नियमों और
so move
मर्यादाओं
our
पर
life
चलाते
according to
हैं
those
तो
maryadas and
हमारे लिए
disciplines,
सहज हो
then it
जाता है
becomes easy for
भले
us.
शुरू में चलते
But
कोई
of
बात
course, in
थोड़ी
the
दिक्कत
beginning,
भी लगे
you might
पर
feel
जब
something
निश्चय
difficult,
है
but when there's a nischay, when there's a deep
और
conviction,
निश्चय के आधार पर
and on the
जब
basis of that
हमने
deep
अपनाया
conviction, we have
भगवान
accepted it.
ने अभी तो ये बात हमारे सामने स्पष्ट है ना
Now, this is very
मैं
clear
भी
in front of us,
समझती
isn't
हूँ
it?
अभी ये निश्चय करने
You
में
don't have to
हमें
have
कोई
now
अपने
that
से मेहनत
conviction.
करनी पड़ती
I
है
don't think we have to make effort now to have this
यह
deep conviction
नॉलेज
that
यह
this
ज्ञान
knowledge, this
ईश्वर का
is
है
God's knowledge.
और बाप
God
हम
Himself
बच्चों को यह
gives us His
सृष्टि
knowledge
की आदि
of this,
मध्य
of the
अंत
beginning,
निकाली
middle, end of the
और
creation.
सबसे बड़ी बात
And the biggest thing of
कि
all,
बाप हमें
that the
स्वयं
Father
का
Himself
यथार्थ परिचय
gives us His accurate
और सब
introduction.
परिचय के साथ
And with that
साथ
accurate
हमारा भी
introduction,
यथार्थ
he also
परिचय
gives us
और
our
केवल
accurate
परिचय ही
introduction, and not just
नहीं
the
लेकिन
introduction, but
परिचय के
also
साथ
along with
साथ
that,
हमारी भी ये पहचान देते
he
हैं
also gives us
हे
our recognition that,
आत्माएं
hey
तुम
souls,
मेरे साथ रहने
you
वाली
are the ones who live with me.
आप सब मेरे
You,
साथ
all of
रहते
you,
थे
used to live
और
with me,
मैंने
reside with
तुमको
me,
इस दुनिया
and
में
how
भेजा
I sent you
कितने
into this
समय के
world,
लिए वो
for how much
तुम्हारा
time
राज्य चला
your
फिर
kingdom
कैसे धीरे
continued,
धीरे
and then
ये
how gradually
सारा परिवर्तन आता
this
गया
whole
तो
change
अब
took place.
जब सारी
So now,
नॉलेज
when that whole knowledge
हमारे अंदर स्पष्ट है
is very clear
और
within
हमने
us,
इन सब बातों को माना
and we have believed
केवल
truly in
ये
all
है
these
कि
things,
जिन बातों को
so the
माना
only thing is that the things that we have
निश्चय तो
believed
कर
in,
लिया
okay, we've
जैसे
had the
मैंने
faith
शुरू
now,
को प्रश्न
like I asked
पूछा
this question this morning,
निश्चय और
nischay,
दृढ़ता में
deep
अंतर है
conviction, and
या दोनों
determination.
एक
Is that a
के
difference,
बराबर
or are they nearly the
क्या
same?
कहें
What would you say? Nischay, deep conviction, and determination
निश्चय
is the
और
same?
दृढ़ता दोनों एक दो के बरोबर
Are they nearly
हैं
the
या
same, or
निश्चय
are
और
they
दृढ़ता
different?
में अंतर है
Dadi is asking the
निश्चय हुआ
question.
तो समझो दृढ़ विश्वास है
So when you have
ऐसे
determination,
माना
it's
जाए
said that
या
you can have
निश्चय होने
determination when
के
you have a very
बाद भी
firm conviction.
दृढ़ता की
Or
आवश्यकता
is it
है
that you have
या
that firm
फिर
conviction, Nishchay, and
जो
then you have to
कहते
have
हैं
determination?
निश्चय
Now,
होते हुए
those who
भी
think that
दृढ़
even whilst
दृढ़
having
संकल्प
Nishchay and
की
this conviction,
आवश्यकता है
still you
वो
need
आत्मा
determination, raise your hand. Those who think that you still need determination even though you have
अच्छा
firm
और जो
conviction.
समझते हैं निश्चय
Now,
और
those who
दृढ़ता
think that
एक दूसरे
both of
लगभग
these
अगर
are nearly the
निश्चय
same
है
things,
तो दृढ़ता हो ही
that
जाती
when
है
you
बिना
have a firm
दृढ़
conviction,
संकल्पता
Nishchay,
नहीं
then definitely there is
दृढ़ता
determination.
निश्चय के साथ साथ
They both are like
संबंधित
hand in hand.
ऐसे
Those who think
समझिए
like that,
कि
please raise your hand.
वैसे तो थोड़े उठा रहे
Well,
हैं
very
पर
few of you are
मेजॉरिटी
raising,
थी
but
इस तरह
majority was
जिन्होंने
decide
आज नहीं
who
उठाया
did not raise their hands.
अच्छा अभी आप इतना दूर से तो नहीं बोलेंगे
Well, you not answer from so
कहने
seated
का
so far
भाव ये
away, but
है
what I really meant
और
was
इसमें
that,
मेरा दूसरा प्रश्न था
and I had a second question
निश्चय
within
तो
that,
है बुद्धि का
that
काम
Nishchay
या
is
समझ
something, a work
जो
of the
समझ
intellect, this firm
मिली
conviction.
और हमने समझा
And
नॉलेज के
we got
आधार
some
पर
understanding and
और
we understood
समझो
it
जो
according
भी
to the
थोड़ा
basis of
बहुत
knowledge.
अनुभव हुआ
And then we also had
हाँ
some
सच
experiences that
है
yes, this surely God is
पर
teaching us.
इसकी दृढ़ता
But to have the determination of this,
क्यों हम कहते हैं जब
why do we say
देखो जो
determination?
बात अच्छी लग
Like,
रही
for example, something you really like. You hear something and
ऑटोमेटिकली
you
वो
like it.
बार बार याद
Then automatically it will come to your mind.
जब हमने ये विश्वास
When we
किया
have had this firm
भगवान हमें
conviction
सिखाते हैं
that
मैं
God is
भगवान
teaching
का
us
बच्चा
and
हूँ
I am God's
फिर
child,
भी बाप की याद
but
हमें
even then we forget the Father's remembrance.
हम बैठते हैं योग
We
में
sit in yoga,
पूरा टाइम
the,
इतने
and, the,
अभ्यास के
and
बाद
even
भी
after so much practice,
हम याद में पूरा टाइम
we
नहीं
are
रह सकते
we are not able to be in remembrance
और
all the
न
time.
सिर्फ केवल में हमारे शुद्ध
And not only
संकल्प
that
चलते हैं
we have
परंतु
pure thoughts,
इधर उधर के
But some other kind of thoughts come up when we're sitting in yoga, something that happened in the day, or something of my work, or something that's left to do. All these kind of thoughts come when we're sitting in yoga. Why?
कभी सोचा है?
Have you ever thought about that?
मेरे कहने का भाव ये
What
है,
I really intend to
भले
say
थोड़ा
is that,
इस बात पर विचार करना,
well, please think about it a little deeply.
ये जो हम कहते हैं मन और
These things that
बुद्धि,
we say, mind and intellect.
मन का काम क्या
Now, the
है,
work of
बुद्धि
the
का
mind,
काम?
what is his work and what's the work of the intellect?
निश्चय करना मन का
To have
काम।
nischay, firm conviction, is the
अभी
work of the
निश्चय
mind.
है, तब हमने
Now,
वो
if we
मार्ग
have that
लिया
nischay, that's why we are
और उस
following that
मार्ग पर
path
चल
and
रहे
we're
हैं।
walking on that path.
परंतु चलते हुए
But
भी
while
हमें
walking,
विश्वास है,
and we do
तब
have
हम
the faith
पुरुषार्थ
also, and
करते
that's
हैं,
why we are
नहीं तो
doing purusharth,
निश्चय।
the
परंतु
spiritual effort.
पुरुषार्थ करते
But
हुए
while making that purusharth,
हमारे संबंध
our
लौकिक नहीं
relationships,
छूटते।
our lokic relationships that we
हम
have connection, they
कई
don't,
प्रकार की
we can't leave them. Like we have some
मानते हुए,
habits,
समझते हुए,
we
फिर
understand,
भी नहीं छूटती है।
but still those habits don't go away. They don't leave
उसका
us.
कारण
What's the reason?
माना जाता है
It is considered that
संकल्प
thoughts
बुद्धि को समझ और समझने की शक्ति मानी जाती है।
thoughts are
ठीक है?
considered to be a part of the intellect,
ठीक
right?
है?
Yes.
बुद्धि समझ और
And
समझने की
it's a
और
part of the
मन
intellect and awareness,
संकल्प शक्ति।
and the mind is just the thinking
ऐसा कहें,
being. Should we say that?
कहें ऐसा,
Yes or no?
कहें,
Should we say that
कहें।
about the mind and intellect, two different?
तो मन संकल्प शक्ति,
So mind is a power,
संकल्प को
thought
शक्ति
power.
माना जाता है।
Thought is considered a power,
बुद्धि को शक्ति
and
नहीं
intellect
माना
is not called shakti, a strength.
जाता। बुद्धि राइट
Buddhi,
रॉन्ग को
the
जज
intellect
करती है,
judges what's right and wrong.
समझती है,
It understands
मानती है,
and it believes in that,
फिर भी
and in spite of that,
संकल्प
the thought,
यहाँ वहाँ के जो
these
पुराने
thoughts,
हैं,
old thoughts of here and there,
फिर भी उठते हैं,
they still
समझते
arise,
हैं।
they still arise. Even with understanding, we have the understanding and still they
इसको
arise.
थोड़ा हम,
So,
अभी तो आप सब पुराने हैं,
now all of you are
आपके
very
भी
old
सूक्ष्म विचार बहुत
children, and
चलते
I'm sure
हैं।
you have many subtle
जरा
thoughts.
इसको सूक्ष्म
So
रीति
please
से हो
think
सकता
about
है
this,
शब्दों में मैं जो
think,
बोलूं अगर
think in a
नहीं
subtle
समझ
way.
में आए तो पूछ
If you
सकते
don't
हैं।
understand it, please ask me.
लेकिन मन का संकल्प का आधार
But the basis of the thoughts in the mind is
हमारे पूर्व संस्कारों,
our old sanskars, our sanskars from before, past sanskars.
ठीक है?
Yes, correct?
पूर्व
So
संस्कार
the past sanskars,
हमारे पूर्व के कर्मों के
and
आधार
they are
पर
on the they have been made according to the basis of our past karmas.
जिन संस्कारों से
And with those past
और
sanskars,
भले एक जन्म का दूसरे में
well, of course,
हमारा
in
जो
different
भी हो
births
जाए,
we
पर
do
फिर
might
भी
be settling
कंटिन्यू
some, but
चलते
still
हैं।
it continues.
एक से दूसरा जन्म,
One birth to the other, the second to third
ये जो
birth.
चलता
Now
है,
this continuation
तो
takes
ये जो
place.
पूर्व कर्मों
So
के अनुसार
the
हमारे
so the
संस्कार
sanskars that are formed according to the past
और
karmas,
संस्कारों के
and
अनुसार
according to
हमारा
the past
स्वभाव
sanskars, it's our svabhav, it's our character, behavior.
संस्कार और स्वभाव
Now,
के वश
and because of the
जो हम
sanskars and the
वर्तमान
svabhav,
कर्म करते
whatever
हैं,
karma we perform
जिसको
now,
गलत समझते
which
हुए
we
भी
know that it's wrong,
पूर्व का होने
but
के कारण
because it's
उसकी
past,
शक्ति
the
हमारे
power
ऊपर काम करती है।
works on us of the past.
परंतु बुद्धि की
However,
तो वो शक्ति
now
है,
intellect has that power
बुद्धि जो समझ है,
that it can understand what is right and wrong.
जज करती
It
है,
can judge.
जज करके
So
मानती
after
भी
judge,
है,
it believes in it also.
मानते हुए
And in
भी
spite of believing,
पूर्व संस्कारों
because
के
of
वश
it's under the
अगर
control of the past
स्वभाव के
sanskars,
वश है,
under the
तो
influence of
जज
our
करते हुए
nature,
हाँ,
and even while
फिर
judging
भी
it,
वो कर्म
even
करते हैं
then we
जो
perform
हमारा
that karma,
स्वभाव,
which is our nature.
जो हम कभी-कभी कहेंगे
And
हम
sometimes we say,
चाहेंगे
well,
ऐसा,
I want to,
परंतु मेरा
but
स्वभाव
I
ऐसा,
can't help it. My nature is such.
उसमें हम मजबूर हो जाते
Then we are helpless.
हैं। इसलिए बाबा
And that's why
हमें अभी
Baba
यह knowledge देते हैं,
gives us this knowledge
बच्चे
now. He says,
योग
child,
लगाने से के
by having
साथ-साथ
yoga, along with having
दैवी
yoga,
भक्ति
also
आवश्यकता
there's
होती
an
है।
importance to have
जितना
divine
जितना हम
virtues.
दैवी
As
गुण
much
को
as
धारण
you
करेंगे,
inculcate
तो
divine
हमारे
virtues,
कर्मों में
then
परिवर्तन
there'll be a change in our karma.
तो ये हमारे दृढ़ता का
So
condition
This is the connection to our determination. Of course, we might have nishchay, the firm conviction, and we know that, oh, we have faith, so we are sure that we have to walk on this path, but that I should not do this. But it still happens. So let me just go internally and remind myself that this keeps on having from repeatedly. This past account that I have, even it doesn't allow me in spite of my understanding. So then I have to have the determination. I am the I have to be the master of the mind. Why has Baba given us a knowledge of the soul? That because I, the soul, I have the power. Because I am Sat Chit Anand. I'm the living form and the truth, and I'm blissful. This is my originality. Now, from within, if I have this firm conviction, nishchay, and in that nishchay, I have that faith, conviction in the Father. But along with that, that I, the soul, am the truth. And the true soul, what kind of a thought should a true soul have? Whatever true things the Baba is telling us now, as much as we think about them deeply, contemplate on that, now okay, the intellect has understood it. So whatever that understanding that Baba has given us, that understanding, in we repeat it in our thoughts. Then our thoughts, there will be a change. That yes, definitely, in reality, who am I really? Whose child am I? Then my qualities must be such that the Father is teaching me. So now this matter, as much as we contemplate upon it, for that contemplation, Baba daily teaches us all these teachings. So much detail in the study, because we can understand the study by the intellect, and the detail is of the study. Now, that detail of the study, when it comes in the intellect, then the intellect judges it. And with that judgment, if the mind also accepts it because of the contemplation power, if the contemplation power accepts it and says that yes, I will think on the same lines, then the flow of that contemplation, as purer as it gets, then there will be a change in our karma, and there will be a change in our take place in our qualities, in our drishti, and then you see how your yoga will be. Why our nature doesn't change? The connection of the nature is with our sanskars. And the sanskars are because of our past karmas. Now the past karmas, we don't know whether they are one birth or of many births. We won't say that. They keep adding. So that me, who am that soul, imperishable, eternal, this, I understand my form of my eternal form, imperishable form, if I really believe it with firm conviction, and if I accept those eternal sanskars, and after accepting them, I contemplate on them. So the waste thoughts are also a thinking of the mind, right? Yes, sisters? So when we come into words, we have to start thinking a bit. Because this clarity, we don't do this kind of clarification in our mind. Now, most of our work is on the basis of our intellect. This is what is happening actually. And Baba gives us the knowledge. Why? because the knowledge, intellect wants detail, because the judgment power is the work of the intellect. But to accept the judgment power and to be determined on that judgment and then move along with that. This determination, this subtle determination, because the past sanskars are stronger. And due to that, even desiring to do this or that, but when we sit down and something else, some other thoughts come up. And sometimes some people even cry that I don't want to think of such kind of things, but I don't know why these kind of thoughts come to me, especially when I'm sitting in yoga. But when we understand, if you understand a subtle machinery, then Baba, that's why Baba keeps telling us. Now see, Baba tells us every day, consider yourself a soul and remember me. The remembrance, Baba's remembrance, it will stay constantly when subtly within we really consider ourselves that I am a soul, I'm separate from the body, I'm a child of the Supreme. And if we sit in this kind of thinking, this is what used to happen to us when we came in the beginning. When we used to sit in yoga, we had this aim. And we used to sit with so deeply in that yug that it's really, we were just sitting like that. It's not that we used to forget the body completely, but you know that consciousness of that the body is there exactly, that would be not there. And internally, just we are the soul and that happiness. So there was no other thought or contemplation of the body or anything else. Now I guess in the beginning this was due to Baba. And we had left the world outside and all the relatives and everything. We had forgotten everything and we were coming there. And for this, maybe it was very easy for us. But even now, we live in the Yagya, those who are the surrendered brothers and sisters. And those who come also, even there, it's a special time. And then the second is also they do service. The special time is used in this and in service. Now the service also helps us. That's why we are the protectors of the Yagya, which means our contemplation and our thinking. Thinking is the intellect's work, but in contemplation both. Whatever you've understood, whatever I have understood, I will think deeply about that. So, so as much determination there comes in our thinking, then the waste thoughts will just come up on its own actually. But sometimes what happens is that it comes into our thoughts too much. And then when we sit in yoga, we can't really have yoga. But this, if you do this practice of being a soul, then this practice of being a soul will take us away from these kind of waste thoughts. And it does that really. So when the mind and the intellect, both of them are connected together to one Father, then accurately we can experience concentration. And that concentration is so sweet that even you might be engaged in some task, but inside, internally, there's that solitude, that concentration keeps pulling you. And whatever things that Baba has told us, they will keep on coming in our mind. Like Baba says, why do I tell you that remember the rememberer? And if you remember me, your sins will get burnt away. Why does Baba say that? Because all the past, your karmas will be cut away. So, along with Baba's remembrance, we also have to have the practice of being a soul. May it become a very easy thing for me that I, the soul, am the child of God. So, we have the faith that this is God, but along with that, I'm a soul, and the soul can't be seen either. But at least we have understood that yes, the soul is in the body and it can't do anything without being in the body. Now we have to pay importance to this, to understanding, thinking and contemplation. Yes, of course, contemplation is also on the basis of understanding. That's why Baba has given us understanding. See, presently, look at the specialities of the soul. Even while we have the past karma and past sanskars, whatever we understand and we get in the present, the soul keeps moving in front. So there's a lot of importance of understanding. As much as our understanding becomes broad, and we understand these things accurately with the intellect, to that extent, uh, our thoughts, and there's a change in our thoughts of the mind. So see, it's a work of the thinking and contemplation together. When they both become one, then we can really feel peace, blissful, and then that bliss, that joy, then it is revealed in our qualities, in our divine virtues, and it easily makes us inculcate those divine virtues. Our attitude, our drishti, all easily changes. Otherwise, there's so much labor to do, and in too much labor, some even get tired. So, protector of the yagya, these are very big, gross things, but the main thing is that our vibrations, let us make them pure and unadulterated. Now, in the vibrations, these two have a connection, understanding and thoughts. Now, in purity in thoughts, this is also according to the basis of understanding. So they really have such a deep connection that in reality we cannot separate them. This is just internally, just knowing my form and knowing more and more, and then these really fine, refined things will come up. And for this, Baba gives us so much reminders and awareness, and still we're not able to control our mind. Now, the mind is the power of thinking power of me, the master. So these things, what used to happen in the beginning is that we used to have only those kind of contemplations, because when the Lokik account gets over, then the majority. Sorry, I missed that. If some Lokik, if you have some kind of thoughts of some Lokik in from within, then there is definitely an influence of that. So Baba repeatedly makes us aware and reminds us that think that your soul, and with each other we all souls are brothers. For a protector of the yagya, we are children of the Father. We must always follow Srimad and the teachings that Baba gives us through our mind, words, and actions. We will definitely bring in our life, and this is our like a family. If you understand it to be like a family with that kind of love. Now Baba says we have coming close to time. If even now, if we don't finish this past things, and even now if we are going to labor, then when will I make our future? So even if we make something very firm, and Baba gives us his knowledge every day in different words, and with so much love he tells us all these things, and with so much mercy. See, 2 or 4 days, 3 days ago, Baba said, "Child, talk to yourself, and really talk to yourself and see how you feel, and then you will realize things yourself. When if there's something that is always troubling me again and giving me pain, and then I'm like sort of trapped in my nature, then why do I accept that thing? If in this way talk to ourselves, so then I think that very easily we can gain victory over these matters. And when we understand that matter, there is a connection of understanding. Mainly it is the understanding. Baba is giving us the knowledge in detail. So this is a very great speciality of the soul, and this understanding is such that as much as it increases, as much as we listen and whatever keep on listening, and as soon as we listen, the intellect starts thinking deeply about it. So then this flow of our thinking is knows what is right and wrong. To understand is the flow of thinking, but to make it our own and to make it firm, this is a work of both. Thinking comes as thoughts come up themselves. So if we feel this in a subtle way, and if we think that, okay, I have to do this, when we keep this determination, and then again the same thing happens, again I have determination, then I will really feel that no, I shouldn't do this, and then the intellect will have victory. So when both combine, I think she's saying mind and intellect, then there will be victory. I am the master. Now the authority of being a master. So I understand this, and then awaken that authority within myself. How? That I am the child of the Almighty Authority. Just by thinking this, the Almighty Authority Father, remembering His virtues. So being absorbed in the love of the virtues of the Father. That love will finish our past sanskars. This is a very subtle aspect. The soul is very subtle. These powers of the soul, it's me, the soul, only who can understand, and through the sense organs I can make them move through my subtle powers. The word power and energy is same actually, Shakti. Now in solitude, just think and see. I am a pure, unadulterated soul, and my attitude is free from everything. There's only one pure thought, and in that pure, unadulterated thought, the Father's remembrance will be merged. That remembrance will give us experience of the Father's love. That love of the Father, when we get immersed in that love, then that love makes the thought power cool and still. Then see, no thought will come up. Sit in solitude. Try and talk to yourself. Then you will really enjoy it. It'll be for everything you need a practice, and when you think about it inside, and when you will be merged in the Father's love, then your truth within will be awakened. The soul is truth. It's imperishable, it's eternal, and that's me. My powers are imperishable and eternal. This body is not me. And when with the Father's love, I will recognize my accurate form, then everything else will just be put aside. They will become absolutely peaceful and still. When gradually, little by little, we experience this. While I'm telling you this, I'm remembering when we used to sit in yoga in the beginning for 2 hours, 3 hours, because we didn't have anything else to think about. Only this one thing, I'm a soul. And it was with so much passion and love that we used to think about it. That we are just His. Whatever He keeps telling us, we just do it. It's truth. And so we just felt that yes, it is the truth. What He's saying is truth. I am truth. So to believe in the truth and to follow that and awaken it. And if any power awakens, for example, science, they sit in solitude, right? And the knowledge that they have, they get the knowledge and then they experiment with that. And while doing that, see what they make, see what they invent. Now, when they can do it physically in such a way, can't we internally with our sanskars? Can't we change our sanskars? This is this recognition of the self and love of the Father. Father is there, but so much love with the Father. That highest and the high Father is giving me the highest and high knowledge. This repetition, this memory, this remembrance. If this keeps on continuing, so okay, we are in service, but along with service, in between, some time to time, the Father. Well, I'm not saying that you're not remembering Him while you're doing seva, but I'm just want to underline it more. What does Baba say even now? He says, be lost in Baba's love, in Father's love. So the Father's love, as much as you stay in remembrance, it will increase. So what is really the influence on me, the soul? What is it? So when I say me or I, मैं, so whenever I say मैं, that means I am the soul. Repeatedly, this awareness. Okay, I have a body, I work, I have name. Fine, I have to work. But while doing that, but inside subtly, I have that kind of awareness. For example, in the world, see how there's an awareness of the name, of connections, relationships. In the same way, having this subtle awareness within. May this awaken. Now, if this, the biggest protection of the yagya is, as much as our mind is pure, unadulterated. For example, something comes up, we sit together in yoga. At that time, we just have that one thought. Just we remember the Father, and whatever obstacle has come, whatever circumstances come, we want to finish it. We don't have any other thought. And then we gain victory, don't we? There are many examples of that. In the same way, with ourselves, just work on ourselves in this way. Then you see how internally so much happiness will be there. And with that happiness, and then of course, yes, some things, adverse things might come up in our work, but we will be able to understand that quickly and bring a change quickly. Because we have recognized the power of the soul, and we have made our connection, relationship with the Father, that I am His child, and whatever the Father has said, it's like as if the Father is just right in front of me, is revealed in front of me, like for example in the world. Now when internally, when I recognize myself to be the soul, then you see automatically we will have that spirituality within us. Baba says when you meet each other, first that awareness should arise, looking at each other as souls, brothers. And if we ask ourselves, when we meet each other, We started talking about this and that, okay, but that one, in that, just in the beginning, the 1 second, do we awaken that awareness? Now, just do that and then see how. Then check your drishti, then the way we talk, then our attitude towards them, our bhavna towards the other. We can feel that ourselves. So Baba says, child, talk to yourself. To become a protector of the Yagya, whatever the Baba says, Baba always continue to follow Srimad, and then amongst each other, always love that we are the children of the one Father. This is really from deep within the heart. Okay, on the basis of knowledge, we have understood and believed, and we know. But one is that this, according to the eternal law, that the Father is revealed in front of us, and the Father is getting His work done through us, and He Himself is also transforming this whole world and making it done. This kind of faith, as much as our way of thinking changes, as much as that continues to change, and while thinking deeply and contemplating, we get absorbed in Baba's love, then that love, we can also continue to finish our past accounts, and even in presently, and how much spirituality it'll bring within us, and that will create love with the spiritual family, and to that extent we will have shubhavna, pure feelings for the other. The Father said that the blessings of the Father, and also having this cooperation of love amongst each other. So on one side, the Father's blessing, and then the other side, love from everyone, or affection. And according to that, we can move forward, and with those blessings help us to move. And automatically, towards the Yagya, we will have love. But you see, okay, in Lokik I might have something, but I am Baba's, right? So whatever is mine is also Baba's. Body is also his. Body is there, but okay, the mind also should be toward Baba. So when the mind and the body are engaged with Baba, with him, because Baba has made this household path of living with everybody else, and we have to make the world move also, and we have to create the new world too. Now, to create the new world, we have to live in this world and bring the change, and the change of the self first. So whoever we meet, when by my change, my attitude will be different. Baba said, when you give Sakash, it will be possible. When you have complete and perfection, then it will help a lot of people. So this complete perfection, that stage, may that awareness always be there. So Baba has given us very easy attitudes. While you cook, while you do this, remember the Father. So who's me who's remembering the Father? The remembrance will stay when I consider myself to be a soul. So repeatedly, this contemplation internally. The soul and the Supreme Soul. This relationship, if we have this relationship in a subtle way, to that extent, you see how much you will experience peace within, how much you'll experience that love and affection, and then having a very pure behavior with everyone, moving along with love, and so much sweetness in what we are saying, and whatever task we do, in that task, there will be it'll be very easily, we will be able to be humble. I think that with these few things, if something confuses you, just forget it and put it aside. But a little bit, that I am a soul, how subtle am I? How much power there is in the soul. And the Father is eternal, imperishable, and the soul is also eternal, imperishable. And it is imperishable when it has the powers. See how many powers the soul has. Even that, if we can contemplate on it. then the Father gives that powers,
जिससे हमारी
that
बुद्धि सदा
through that power our intellect
बाप की याद में रहे और
may
उसकी
remain
याद से
completely in
हम
His remembrance,
यथार्थ बुद्धि से
and
काम
with that remembrance we can use our intellect in an accurate way.
याद और साथ साथ
So
नियमता
remembrance and
बाप
Srimad,
के नियम और मर्यादा
the
परम
Father's
जानना
disciplines and the
और
systems, if
उनकी
we do them properly,
यज्ञ के
then automatically we are in every way, we are the ones who are cooperative. With these words,
यज्ञ
you remembered me, and
बाबा ने समझ
whatever Baba understanding Baba has given me, I spoke on the basis of that. If you didn't understand anything or something, you can always ask me. If you really don't, put it aside. Om Shanti.